Hello there, this is Becky, and this is the first video of a series I want to start doing, which is weekly updates. And the reason I want to do that is because I want to keep track of my progress and kind of use it as a motivator to actually get stuff done. If I don't have anything to say for the week, I'll feel worse, I suppose. So since it's the first one, I thought I'd go over the stuff I've done for the past year instead, even though that's a long time. There isn't really that much to show, unfortunately. This, as you can see on the screen right now, is basically all that I've gotten done. I mean, other than sketching in my real life sketchbook. And this is a mixture of studies and illustrations and planning and things like that. And I was just going to go through each one of these very quickly and just talk about it, I suppose. I sort of split them into sections, kind of semi-chronologically. The first section I have is Master Studies, and the software I'm using to show this is PureRef, which is just really useful. This and the next one, these are both Oga Kazuo studies. I really like the artwork of Oga Kazuo, anime background kind of stuff, and I just wanted to see what happened if I tried to do a study. It was very interesting, I enjoyed it. Here is a sergeant study, and the one next to it on the right is a Bugero. That was quite a quick one. I just wanted to capture the composition really, but the painting itself is very nice. This one is a Waterhouse study. Very much like the composition of this one, I was aiming to analyze composition for this piece. The next piece is an Arthur Hacker value study. It's quite basic because I was just focusing on the values and I kind of got what I needed from it. But I was very interested in the composition of this piece because it's not just the fact that the figure is dark and the background is light. There's a lot of things going on in the background in the details which add to the composition, leading your eye around. Very good artist. Probably one of my favourites, Arthur Hacker. And this is a Jean-Léon Gérôme study. I was focusing on perspective for this one. This painting is also very good for colours and values. Okay, the next ones in this section here are studies that I did on my phone using heavy paint. I was using my fingers to paint. These are all from life. It took me a really long time because it's so fiddly with just my fingers, but heavy paint's a really great app. I highly recommend it on whatever platform you choose. This was a very quick study with my partner when we were out somewhere and I didn't really have time to finish. And that was a cup study very quickly as well. Really hard for me to get shapes properly with the phone version. Same for this cup. And this was done with my iPad on Procreate, I'm pretty sure. There's a master study here that I put in the wrong section. This is Vasily Polenov.
Василий Поленов.
This was a value study, and here are some things that I wrote down after the fact as I was comparing my version to the original. These are photo studies now. Really love stormy skies. Stormy skies are my favourite, to be honest. I love studying them. That is a bridge near my house. Very messy. I was focusing on colours, I think. This one is a photo study, and I think I mostly used the lasso filter in Clip Studio Paint, so all the edges are very crisp and it's kind of graphic-y. There was a bit of brush work here, but it's very fast, a very fast tool for studies. That's why I like it. And this is an iceberg of some sort. This is a study of a very interesting photo. I just like the building, the mood, everything. What was this? Yeah, just some rocks. And a Aurora Borealis. and a tree. These are 15 minutes. This is also 15 minutes. So I don't look that impressive because they were very quick. This one was really difficult. Didn't get very far because there was a lot of perspective going on. 15 minutes, I don't know. It was quite difficult to get a good result. And this one, I was kind of playing around with using gradients for speed. You can barely tell what this is. This one was just using a basic brush, which in some cases I find quicker. It kind of depends on the subject. Like for example, this one I used selections with the lasso tool and then a brush with texture. I mean, it is still pretty messy, but in this case it was good for controlling edges. And same for this one. I really like the colours in this photo of a turtle. I think this came out okay for a 15-20 minute study, and this otter as well. A lot of lasso tool being used for this as well. Same for this one, cute little seal. It was quite fun to do this one. And some trees in the forest is a lot of detail. I don't think I did a good job of simplifying this one. Some cool rocks, yep. And an ice cream. This was quite nice to do, just a simple object, kind of focusing on the reflected light and the sort of transparency of the ice cream. It's quite a nice subject. This was a fern, which really nice photo. Really nice subject to study, but a lot of details to simplify. And this was some ice. Again, I really love the transparency effect of this subject. So very nice to paint. And some rocks of a mountain. And this one, I didn't get very far with this one, but I was experimenting with using the lasso tool and then a sort of noisy brush to make city lights. I kind of gave up in the end. Cloud and water reflections. This was Earth vent crater sort of thing. I'd have liked to do a long study of that one because it had really interesting rocks. And a nice wind scene. That was quite a nice study. More clouds, storm, and a nice wave. A cute chicken, and some flowers. I didn't have time to do the petal shapes. So I guess I was focusing on colours and layout and stuff like that. And this one, not too pleased with this. This is supposed to be a field and some geese there, but yeah, didn't have much time obviously. And a flamingo. This was quite interesting subject with the reflections, but I don't think I used the right tools for this one. It kind of, maybe the lasso tool would have been better to use for that one. And a car. Yeah, I used the lasso tool for that one. And a building against the sky. And this one, there's a little frog there. You can barely tell what that is. Okay, now onto the illustrations I've done. This is a storm piece for my world building project. These are supposed to be ribs of a giant creature, and they conduct electricity, so in a stormy environment it's causing an effect which is called St. Elmo's Fire, where you can see on the top of a conductive material you'll get a flare effect. You can sometimes see this on boats. It's very interesting. I like this kind of flat landscape focusing on clouds. That's kind of my favourite thing to paint. This one I was trying to do an avatar of myself. So here's the sketch and the final, but there are multiple varieties. I can't remember which one I chose in the end. This one I used a vector program on the iPad. I can't remember the name of it now. Never mind. Okay, this is an illustration I did of my cat. Here are some steps. I was going to make a video with the time-lapse process of this at some point. This was a spit paint, meaning a very quick, I think it was half an hour, painting where you have a prompt and you don't use any references and you just paint something to the prompt. This was to the prompt. It might have been alone in a crowd or something, but this is a person in the city. Bit hard to tell what's going on there though. And this is another heavy paint doodle I did, and this city one next to it. This one I named The Beast because it's supposed to represent bad feeling, depression, that kind of thing. I quite liked this sketch. I was interested in exploring this in an actual painting at some point, and this was just an experiment with heroic paint really. Oh, this was another spit paint. The prompt was something like nanotechnology healing or something. This is supposed to be a rich dude with a machine which is healing a wound on his face. I don't know, looks a bit like a microphone boom. This was another doodle of a kind of desert ruin situation. This was a finished piece of my partner and a little Jigglypuff. This was a piece for him, so we can use it as a profile picture. It was very fun to do. I really liked painting it. And this is a sketch. I wanted to make an avatar. I didn't finish it. I might come back to this at some point. This is a finished piece I did. It started as a study, but I changed the background and I added my characters in. I quite liked how it turned out. And this is a quick study of these little robot figurines I have. Synthetic human they're called. I added this foresty looking background and I made up this lighting it's an interesting exercise. I kind of like how it turned out. This was a Procreate sketch, and I was using this noisy brush I made, and I like how that turned out too, but I do think the face is a little bit warped there. And this next series of images is a moth design that I was making quickly so that I could use it to make a punch needle embroidery project. And these were just variations that I came up with. I kind of like this kind of graphic sort of thing. I'd be interested in making, I don't know, stickers of this sort. Maybe one day I will explore it. And next we have an illustration that I have been working on of my character Jay. I have not finished this. It has changed considerably in the time since I made this sketch. This was the initial idea. I coloured the sketch. I changed the pose. I worked on it. The face got all weird. I didn't like how it was going. This is a similar idea, but different pose, and I did like this, but I kind of abandoned it and didn't finish it. I don't really know why. I might come back to that. This was some designs for the face of my character that I made, so I could use them for a 3D model, which looks super creepy, and this was just to use as a reference. And the background of this was a 3D model in Clip Studio Paint that I kind of warped to fit the face of my character, and then I drew on top. That reference was for this version of my character illustration. Here's a concept planning, quick sketch, a SketchUp sketch which didn't really work out for me. Here's the first iteration. I did like how this came out, the kind of mood and colours, but I kind of wanted there to be a bit more in the background. That's why I made this. Here I developed the face, which is a big flaw of mine where I just focus entirely on the face and forget everything else because I like rendering faces. It's just kind of a bad habit. And I was trying to get a feel for the background. I was kind of working on making a Blender 3D model for the background. That might be a form of procrastination though. This is another piece that I started ages ago. This one has like really weird anatomy. I mean, this was from ages ago, like a year ago now. Quick sketch, and I didn't like the result of that rendering, so I abandoned it. And I made another sketch on my iPad. I did like how that sketch went, and then this turned into this, and I decided I'd do a kind of city backdrop, but I was like, it doesn't have a story or anything, it's kind of boring. So I went to this and I made a 3D model of this mask as a reference. But this picture is also partially abandoned. Not abandoned, I'll come back to it. These were some sketches I was doing for the redo. This is my character sketch in my sketchbook. I quite liked how these sketches came out. I thought they looked how I wanted the character to look. Next is a doodle sketch thing. This guy is kind of just still a sketch. I don't know if I'm going to continue with that. This was a sketch of a portal with footsteps coming through to a nice sunset meadow. And yeah, not finished. This is supposed to be Heather in the foreground. I like the idea, but yep, abandoned. This was a idea for a portal pic with someone coming out into a forest, but I did not follow through on that one. This is an attempt at a redo of an old picture of mine. This is just a sketch, but I was exploring colours and things. I kind of like how this turned out. I mean, it's kind of simple, but just a sketch. Here is some design sketches for a creature in my world building project. And here I did a full body and coloured. Here's some more design sketches. I didn't exactly like this, so I've explored. I went with these kind of shapes here, and I was going to use this design in a painting of the skeleton in a museum setting. Next, this is a little character I made up. I was just doing some little sketches of this creature, and here I was kind of taking inspiration from real life animals to make this slightly less cartoony design. I quite like how that turned out, but here are some like super cartoony versions of it. And this is something I was going to try and make, a little animation. I don't know how successful I'll be, but I'm gonna try. And that's it. That's everything. Wow, this video is longer than I thought it would be. Yep, I don't know if anyone will watch this. It's not the most interesting thing ever, but we shall see. I just want to make this a habit, really. I just want to get used to talking to a camera because at the moment it's extremely awkward. And I've been procrastinating making a video for a very, very long time. So I thought a weekly thing like this, without any planning or script or anything, would be a good idea. Anyway, for the two of you listening to this, have a nice day. If you make art, continue to make art, because even though the AI is taking over, human created art is still valuable. So keep making it. I want to see it. Okay, bye.